Even if he has some desires, when he is engaged in the service of the Lord, he is never frustrated. Those engaged in his service are called Sakama and Akama. Those who approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead with desires for material enjoyment are called Sakama. And those devotees who have no material desires for sense gratification, but they serve the Supreme Lord out of spontaneous love for Him, are called Akama. Sakama devotees are divided into 4 classes: those in distress, those in need of money, the inquisitive and the wise. Someone worships the Supreme Lord because of bodily or mental distress. Someone else worships the Supreme Lord because he is in need of money. Someone else worships the Lord out of inquisitiveness to know Him as He is. And someone wants to know the Lord as a philosopher, can know Him by the research work of his wisdom. There is no frustration for any of these 4 classes of men. Each is endowed with the desired result of his worship. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Ste Saraswati Deve Charine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat the translation. The Lord continued, My dear Rishi, O leader of the living entities, for those who serve me in devotion by worshipping me, especially persons like you who have given up everything unto me, there is never any question of frustration. So the Lord, who is appeared before Kadama Muni, is very mercifully talking to Kadama Muni that I have come to know what is in your mind, and already I have arranged for that. And what desire you have in your mind, you have already worked for it by worshipping me through a mental and sensory discipline. And the Lord continued, My dear Rishi, O Lord of the living entities, for those who serve me in devotion by worshipping me, especially persons like you, who have given up everything unto me, there is never any question of frustration. So, this is to be, one has to have complete faith that if having accepted the Lord as one's shelter, as one's object of service, even if so many desires are there, those desires are never frustrated. Those desires the Lord will make ways and means for the living entity to get those desires satisfied, provided it does not destroy his devotion, does not take him away from the material, from the service. So, even if someone has different kinds of desires, it's not against bhakti, though it is against pure bhakti. But however, we have to understand that by the mercy of a pure devotee, one may come across the inspiration to perform unalloyed bhakti. It is something that is a gift that is given by the pure devotee, to transfer from the heart of a pure devotee, either while reading, hearing or anything, the spirit of pure bhakti, the pleasure, the transcendental pleasure of pure bhakti. Otherwise, normally one is conditioned in this material body, which means one has taken birth in this material body for sense gratification, for sukha and dukkha. So these sukha and dukkha are always going to taunt the living entity. And the living entity, if he is not so lucky to get in touch with a pure devotee who inspires that faith of pure devotion in the Lord and faith in the Lord, the devotee still thinks that he needs some things other than the Lord. He needs the Lord's blessings to get this, to get that, get so many things. In pure devotional service, the devotee has no such desires. He wants only the Lord. The Lord is there, the Lord is pleased, that is all. I engage in service of the Lord for the Lord's desire. I have no desire but the Lord's desire. He will completely protect me, He will take care of me. The devotee, as pure devotee, has no such wishes of being even taken care. Because the Lord, he's become one with the Lord, one with the desire of the Lord. So, whatever he does is Lord's work. Whatever he thinks is Lord's thinking. In this way, the pure devotion service means it is unmotivated by anything to do with this body. It is purely at the spirit level. At the spirit level, the living entity feels a sense of completeness only when one is in relationship with Krishna. In relationship of devotion service with Krishna, one feels completely complete. All the desires in the material world are coming because of the sense of incompleteness, because of forgetfulness of Krishna. Otherwise, the living entity's main positive goal is to take pleasure in the transcendental service of the Lord, loving service of the Lord, and not in pleasure of his own body, his own senses. No. Even in the material world, when the devotee is in this body, whenever there is requirement to engage in service of the Lord, he brings forth his senses, like a tortoise brings forth its feet out, head out, feet out. In the same way, the living entity brings forth the senses out for the sake of the service of the Lord. If there is no service of the Lord, it will be just withdrawn. You're completely detached. So this situation of Kama Bhakta and Sakama Bhakta, Akama Bhakta and Sakama Bhakta. Sakama means one who has got a lot of desires. But he recognizes the Lord is my Lord. I have to serve Him. But he has certain material desires which he cannot give up. And the Lord, actually the statement here made is that there is never any question of frustration. So to say that the Supreme Lord has nothing to do with the material desires of the devotees is wrong. That is another impression. One who understands, one who thinks too much about pure devotion service of the Lord, he will tend to think that the Lord has nothing to do with impure devotion service. When the day will come when I do pure devotion service, then the Lord will look at me. Lord will relate with me. Which is not the fact. Which is not the fact. You see here Kardama Muni is asking such a material desire. Because of his austerities, the Lord has come before him and is saying that yes, we will sanction. So even in our life, even if we are gunning for pure devotion service according to standards given by Srila Prabhupada, it is inevitable that from our subconscious so many desires are there from our past lives, and so many desires are getting fulfilled. So many protection we are getting from the Lord which you have to suffer due to your past activities. You are saved of those sufferings. All these things are happening in every one of our lives. The Lord as a Paramatma, as a super soul, is seated in our heart and is actually actively involved in the life of the devotee. Whether he is a pure devotee or whether he is a Sakama Bhakta. But for either of them, pure devotees, Kama Bhakta or Sakama Bhakta, one thing the Lord doesn't like is pride. When one is humble, then everything happens. If one is proud, or if something makes one more proud, the Lord would not give the devotee that. Okay, you have material desires, you satisfy your desires, fine. I will arrange. The Lord will arrange. No, I have desires and then I want to, show around in the community of devotees. I want to, you give me something, I want to use that power to push around everyone. I am a devotee, I am a this, I am that, I am senior, all these kind of things. Then no desires will get desired. You will be frustrated materially and spiritually. This is a fact. Humility is very important. A pure devotee develops absolute humility. A Sakama Bhakta develops, may not absolute humility, but still he will develop humility that I am dependent on the Lord, I am tiny, I have to respect all living entities. This is very important. That is a basic qualification of a devotee. A devotee does not like to harm anybody. Devotee does not like to put anybody down because he's got something more. That is called showing pride. All these things is not the quality of a devotee at all, even of a Sakama devotee. Even when Indra, Sakama devotee, when he became puffed up, immediately the Lord taught him a lesson. He did not fulfill his desires. He taught him a lesson. He made him humble. But the fact which is giving solace to the devotee when we hear such leelas is that the Lord is very much in my life. That misconception that only if I am becoming a pure devotee of the Lord, till then I am distant from the Lord, is a wrong philosophy. The Lord is unconditional. Ye thamam prapadhyanse tam sthitya bhajamyaham. The Lord has various aspects, various forms, various avatars, various activities in each of those avatars. So as the super soul, the Lord, its avatara is that he is relating with the material desires of the karmis and devotees. What to speak of devotees, even karmis. So therefore, if one has to make advancement in spiritual life, if one sincerely prays to the Lord in the heart, then he will get all his material, even if one prays to the Supreme Lord, to burn away all my material desires in my heart, the super soul, the Paramatma, Krishna, Chirodaksha, Vishnu, the friend of all living entities, Suhridam Sarvabhutana, he will stamp out all our desires. So one comes into real platform of Krishna consciousness when one starts realizing the kindness of the Lord in the heart, even in one's contaminated state. Every one of us, when we came into Krishna consciousness, we had different reciprocations from the Lord. We all experienced different reciprocations from the Lord. And that inspired us to surrender to Him, to dedicate to Him. Probably that surrender and that dedication that was there in the first few days of our Krishna consciousness is not there now. That time we had a very special eyes to see the reciprocation of the Lord and appreciate the Lord, how He is interfering, how He is intervening in your life. The fact is that the Lord is continuously intervening and is completely taken charge of our life. If we have decided to serve Him, He has taken charge of our life. One has to have that faith. One cannot live in a separated existence. The moment we live in a separated existence, that is, the Lord does not know me, Lord does not, sometime one day I will know the Lord. That is about higher aspects of the Lord. That is about the finer rasas of the Lord. Obviously we don't imitate those finer rasas of the gopis and Vatsalya rasa and all those things. These are all very artificial. Treating the Lord as a son, these are all artificial. They are all meant for purity. After a level of purity, then one can do that. First one should develop the relationship with the Lord as Acharya, as a Guru, Chaitya Guru. The Lord is, we act in such a way that it pleases Him. Sometimes one is misled into all these kind of, these are all material emotions. The Supreme Lord does not want our material emotions. The emotions come from material mind. When we spiritually awaken, then the emotions come from spiritual mind. Humility, proper attitude of humility is the first spiritual emotion that comes. So if somebody does not have humility, one side does not show humility, other side shows some great devotion, my Lord is my son, Lord is my husband, Lord is my this thing, is all bogus, is all shadow, chaya bhakti. And if one is satisfied with chaya bhakti, with mental kick, then he or she will remain in that platform without really advancing into Shuddha bhakti. If you get satisfied with the duplicate material, then genuine material will never reach you. You will not want it also. So that is why hearing from Srila Prabhupada, understanding the philosophy of Krishna consciousness properly, if one does not understand properly, if somebody is given some instruction, okay, I don't understand, what I think is wrong, I am sorry, I think I have to change this. I have no brains to understand this. But I should follow this. Then that is a path of pure bhakti. Then if one has faith in the association of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, then he can go towards Shuddha bhakti, pure bhakti. Even if little is there Shuddha bhakti, it's fine. If I develop little spiritual humility, that is enough. That is first level of bhakti. Surrender is the first level of bhakti. Feeling 24 hours subordinate to the Lord is bhakti. Feeling hesitant to take out any desires, thinking 10 times of any desire, that is bhakti. Has the Lord sanctioned this? Is the Lord happy with this thing? That is bhakti. That is a genuine progress towards the genuine path of Shuddha bhakti. So at every stage of our Krishna consciousness, we can have a relationship with Krishna. To go to one extreme that I cannot have a relationship with Krishna unless I become a pure devotee is again wrong. And to go to the other extreme thinking that no, I can just imagine myself, in this relationship with Krishna, that relationship with Krishna is also wrong. Both these things Krishna does not accept. Because that is not truth. The Lord wants you, read the scriptures, understand the scriptures. How am I available to you at your stage of your advancement? How am I available to you? I am available to you as the deity. I am available to you as the Harinam. I am available to you as Paramatma. Internally, externally, I am available to you as Prabhupada's Vani. I am available to you as sadhus, Sangha. Guru, sadhu, Sangha, Shastra. When you match with that, when you go in line with that, all our feelings and emotions in connection with what we call as bhakti should be in line with the scriptures. If it is not in line with scriptures, then it becomes a disturbance in the society of Vaishnavas, society of devotees has become a disturbance. And neophytes who do not know the science of bhakti, they will think, oh, this person has got so much devotion. This person has got so much devotion. And no, instead of appreciating, the sadhus are all putting the person down. The sadhus are putting the person down so that the person goes on a proper path, not fly high in the empty sky, illusory sky. This is called Sahajyaism. Sahajyaism means taking bhakti not in parallel with truth. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 500 years back, he ignited this bhakti movement all over this country. But after his time, many people, they started imitating Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Without knowing the science of bhakti, the whole parampara was damaged. Because people started wearing gopis dress, men started wearing gopis dress and feeling for Krishna. Somebody will say, what is wrong? Why you guys are criticizing? The person is only thinking of Krishna. 24 hours. Because those things are fed by what is the payoff you get. There is a payoff in that. That is why it continues. The payoff is social recognition that, oh, he's a great bhakta. This person is a great devotee. That is a payoff you get. And such people, if the society doesn't recognize their bhakti, their so-called bhakti, they get very depressed. Because their payoff they are not getting. So in the midst of all neophytes, they'll get that payoff. Oh, you are such a great devotee, you have such good feelings for Krishna, this thing, everybody pays off and you feel great. And somebody doesn't recognize, then you feel depressed. Bhakti is not dependent on all these things. Bhakti is a very deep relationship between you and God. It is not an external relationship. God is in our heart, Lord is in our heart, Paramatma is in our heart. The sense of surrender, sense of dependence. This is surrender means there is no argument. Not you continuously argue in your mind, even with the Lord. These are all imitations. Great devotees can talk with the Lord like that. Great devotees can be angry with the Lord. If you see ordinary devotees getting angry with the Lord, you just don't associate with such persons. What is that person's anger? It's all joke. It's all imitation. That means Lord is so cheap. Without purifying your heart, you can have a positive relationship with the Lord of being angry with Him. So one has to be very carefully tread this path of bhakti. The path of bhakti is bhakti Vedanta, bhakti and Vedanta. There is a science behind it. There is sat in it. The emotions of bhakti has sat. They are sat emotions. They are not asat emotions. In the material world also, so deep emotions are there between people. They are all asat emotions. If you just extend that asat emotions to Krishna, without having purification, then it is called imitation of pure devotees. So that is why the right kind of balance or right kind of adherence to truth is very important. It is not that I don't have a relationship with Krishna, it is not that I have a relationship with what I can think in my mind I can have. No. Where are you now? You have got so many, like Kardam Muni, he has got so many material desires. He accepts and recognizes the Lord is the Supreme Lord, Supreme Disposer of everything, dispenser of every desires of every living entity. And the Lord understood this thing and then He is sanctioning it. He said, I will provide it. What is the hurry? What is the... Yes, you satisfy your desires. The Lord never says that the devotee should immediately come back to Godhead. No, He doesn't say that. If you want to be here, be here. If you want to become a devata, become a devata. But I will remember every one of your desires. And the more desires you have, more you have to stay here. I will fulfill all of them. I will fulfill all of your desires. You may have a crazy desire, you may want to become the President of America. No problem, in this body it may not be possible. I will take you through many births and one day I will make you the President of America. Time is unlimited. Eternal time is there. I will give you birth in such a way, you do the karma, you do this, that, you do the austerity, everything, then you can desire. That means you can get what you desire. No doubt you have to go to the principles of material energy. That is why people always get confused. They think, hey, I worked hard, so I got. Why you guys are giving credit to God? God did everything. The God is the one who gave you the direction how to do the proper karma so that you could get that. You could do the proper action so that you could get that. If you don't deserve that, if you are not sanctioned that result, you will not know the right path, what all to do. The right endeavor you will not do, you will not get the result. So if you have done the right thing and that is why result came, you should say that I have done the right thing because the Lord gave me the intelligence to do the right thing. And therefore the credit is to the Lord, Daiva. So it is so wonderful. All these, when you hear all these different aspects of the Lord, one gets a proper understanding of the living entity's relationship with God, relationship with the Lord. So in summary, again I am repeating, one extreme to say that I have no connection with God unless I become a pure devotee is wrong. Going to the other extreme that, you imagining, pure devotees rasa and living like that in your imagination, that is also wrong. The fact is that ye yatamam prabadhyanse tam sthite bhajamiham. As per one's purity, one should relate with the Lord and move to the next level of relationship with the Lord. Next level of relationship with the Lord. Shantarasa, Dhasyarasa, Sakyarasa. Shantarasa. For Shantarasa is to develop appreciation who is God, who is Krishna, who is Bhagavan. The same thing happens even in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. First is to understand the who is Bhagavan, what is Krishna's name. That comes from hearing the scriptures, hearing from Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Then one develops the appreciation of what is Krishna. Krishna can become your son, Krishna can become your husband, all these things in the internal potency only, not in the external potency. There's a spiritual internal energy where all those things happen, not in the external energy. Any questions? Yes.
Why Lord has to give directions for our material desires? How to satisfy material desires?
Why the Lord has to give?
Yes.
Because see, you need to understand one thing. The entire existence is about respecting free will. That is the absolute principle for the Lord also. He doesn't trample upon your free will. So, but then He facilitates, you bear the result of it. You desire something, then you realize yourself that any desire independent of me is not going to satisfy you. You learn that someday and come to me. If you want to come to me, otherwise you can't continue. One desire after another desire after big desire of Devata, Brahma, Abrahma, Vonaloka, Punaravartana, Arjuna, become a worm, become Indra. So, why he does that? Is because there is only one thing that exists, Krishna, and his energies. And Krishna's variegated relationship with his energies. Material energy is one energy, Jiva energy is another energy. So the Lord is relating with each Jiva according to the way you want him to relate. Atheists want to relate with him as he does not exist. No problem. He gives them that consciousness of him not existing. So to understand this, you have to understand this. You have to get that feel of how valuable the Lord himself considers the living entity's free will. In other words, if I say, why the Lord is allowing all this desire to go? Because He absolutely respects every jiva. At the absolute level, He respects every jiva. He's so sensitive. He's so sensitive. That is why it is said that you cannot become a pure devotee till a day comes when you don't respect every living entity's free will. You may not respect the thievery of a thief, but you may still have to respect his free will to thief. Lord has given him. Lord has his own laws. Part of that law will be to catch him and give him to the police. But still there will be respect for his free will. No problem. He did something, he has a punishment. Laws of nature will act. Everybody has to get due respect in the material world. Is that clear?
Prabhu, he just sanctions our material desires, or he inspires us also how to fulfill, he directs us also how to fulfill the material desire?
See, without inspiration nothing can be done. Why karmis are inspired sometimes? That inspiration is because of his past karma, that inspiration is given and he does, and he achieves. In fact, it is said that the Lord remains the living entity. Oh, now this is a good environment. By laws of nature, you have come into a right environment. Sometime in that life, you have desired that seed is sitting. This is the right time to sprout that seed. He will come and give you the remembrance of your material desires. And then you will come forth and you will fulfill your desires. So this is different. So don't take only one face of the Lord. Lord is multifaceted. It is not that Krishna, Goloka Krishna is coming and giving satisfying all your material desires. One has to understand that the Lord as Goloka Krishna is created this material world as Mahavishnu, from him expands Garbhodaksha Vishnu, from him expands Shirodaksha Vishnu, that avatar, that aspect of the Lord's business is to satisfy all living entities' desires, including developing detachment in you even you want. Only if the Lord in the heart, Yasya Prasadat, Bhagavat Prasadat, by following the external instruction, the external spiritual master, by surrendering to the Lord in the heart. Just see how Prabhupada's pranam mantra also you say. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya. It's very important. Why Vishnu came there? Nama Om Vishnu Padaya. You surrender to Vishnu. Krishna Presthaya. You have a loving relationship with Krishna. There is no surrender and all. Krishna surrenders to the devotee in the spiritual world. Pure love is there. Pure love is crosses surrender. So we need to surrender to the Lord in the heart. Lord is available closest in our heart. Bhakti starts with relationship with Lord in the heart, of surrendering, giving up lauding tendency. Yes, you had a question?
Prabhu, we say that many times that we are not supposed to imitate advanced devotees and things like that. So, my question is, how do we identify an advanced devotee?
How do we identify?
An advanced devotee.
You see, truth. I mean, the truth is something that, let's say, if you want to buy something, if you have money in the pocket, then that is called truthful desire. Okay? Now if you want to get something, you don't have money in your pocket. But you start imagining, I have that, I have that, I have that. So it's not untruth. So similarly, whatever realization you have about Lord, Krishna, remain in that platform and move to the next platform. Live in a state of realization with Krishna, whatever level that may be.
This is to identify whether one is advanced or not, that is very clear. We are not talking about realizing where we stand. But when an ex-person poses as an advanced devotee, how do we identify that? That's my question.
How do you identify other person? You have to see all the rest, 24 hours what that person does. You'll catch him like this. Out of sight you will catch him, out of mind. Some other mind will be there. Some other personality will come out. Because the social image builds up everything, then they show up everything like a pure devotee and all these things. Behind the door something else will be happening. You can pose like anything. This is the point. This is actually the point. What is this person? Find out what is this person doing 24 hours. Sometimes somebody will be very nice to you. You will say, it's very humble devotee, such a nice devotee. I don't know why these devotees are blaming him like this. You will see another face of him with that other person. With the authorities, he will be very humble and very nice and very soft-spoken. Very soft-spoken, nicely and humble. And the authority will think he's such a nice devotee. I have learnt this over management, over many, many years. I never get carried away by that. Because I always believe, I want to see how he relates with his equals. How he relates with his subordinates. I want to see that. If there is maturity in all three relationships, that we know that this person is acting from the heart. Not out of social image. He is acting from the heart. It does not matter whether authority, equal or subordinate. He will act like a Vaishnava. So that you have to watch that person 24 hours. Then he's acting out of respect for genuine respect for everybody. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.